I'm the Tokyo Toy Bastard, and today I wanted to talk about the SUCKLORD. 5 years ago, the New York City supervillain, bootleg toy king, known as the Super SUCKLORD, came here to Tokyo. And I was part of his entourage that helped set up his gallery and also documented his trip to Tokyo.
Japan, to me personally, I've had an ongoing conversation with Japan since I was a little kid.
You can watch the entire 12-minute documentary on my YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, back in 2016, me and my friend Kurodon had the opportunity and the pleasure to basically hang out with SUCKLORD during his entire first trip to Tokyo.
We had a whole crew of like
Embedded.
white boys that moved to Tokyo, learned Japanese, and just like shacked up with either a Japanese wife or hundreds of Japanese girls on Tinder. We had 3 guys. We had Kurodon, which was our other friend, and this guy Jeremy, the Tokyo Toy Bastard. I hadn't known them before, and they knew I was coming. They knew me from the toy shit, so they came to help out, and they all speak Japanese, and they showed me around, and they took care of me.
And by the way, I believe they were putting together a little
yeah, they were making a
doc
documentary about the trip. They took me around. We went to all the toy stores, fucking toys.
If you're not familiar with the SUCKLORD, let me give you a little bit of history. So the SUCKLORD is essentially a pop artist that is based in Chinatown, New York City. Originally he started out making Star Wars hip-hop mixtapes, but he exploded into the indie art scene with his now famous or infamous brand Gay Empire. Most people credit him as being one of the godfathers, if not the godfather, of the bootleg indie toy scene. So yeah, anyway, the SUCKLORD had a gallery show here in Japan at Gallery Target, which you can see in the documentary. And being that it was his first time in Japan and it was his own gallery showing, he of course made some Japan exclusive figures. For example, this Gay Ultimate, which is essentially just a pink gay version of Ultraman. I actually really regret not picking one of those up. I don't know why I didn't. I remember money. Anyway, recently I was revisiting the documentary, and there was one figure that I remember seeing, but I hadn't really looked too much into, but I was very curious about finding and acquiring one of these. And that figure is this one. It's a soft vinyl version of the Gay Empire Stormtrooper, but it's actually produced by a company based here in Japan called Starcase. Starcase is actually not just a company, it's a toy shop that specializes in all things Star Wars. And the owner produces a line of soft vinyl toys that are inspired by the late 70s, early 80s Japanese knockoff Space Convoy series, which were a series of boxed kits sold here in Japan. He's released many different varieties of these characters, all in a soft vinyl format and in different colors. But in 2015, he was approached by Dove of DKE Toys, who is one of the big names in producing, promoting, and selling these bootleg toy artists' work, SUCKLORD being one of them. So I asked SUCKLORD how this collaboration came about. SUCKLORD actually referred me to Dove, and Dove was very kind enough to give me more information. He is actually a big collector of the Starcase Star Convoy figures, and approached the owner of Starcase to do a collaboration with SUCKLORD, and they ended up producing 2 different variations. One being the Gay Empire Stormtrooper, based on the Space Convoy's own Stormtrooper model, and the Super SUCKLORD himself, based on the Boba Fett, which is also known as the Scum Hunter in the Space Convoy line. Each of these figures were limited to 25 editions and sold exclusively at DesignerCon 2015. So let's take a look at the figure itself. The original versions of the Space Convoy figures came in boxes with Japanese artwork printed on the cover. However, with the SUCKLORD collaboration release, they opted for a blister card style format, with SUCKLORD designing the blister card itself and packaged ironically within a Starcase, which has nothing to do with the actual Starcase shop. Isn't that odd? Here on the back it says SUCKLORD, SUCKLORD, which in Japanese it actually sounds more like suck load, but that's Japanese for you. Here it says SUCKLORD is special supervillain, makes the toys, has the girls, money, does important thing that is crime in New York City. Nobody knows who he is. They want to be like him, but they are scared. He is boss in Chinatown. Look, the cool helmet. Plus does the hip-hop sometimes. Do you see? Flipping the card around, here at the top, you have the StarCase logo, the SUCKADELIC logo. Over here it says SUCKADELIC in katakana, and then SUCKLORD. The figure is packed with a couple optional heads and some other accessories. We'll take a closer look at those in just a moment. And one accessory that I've actually taken out for display, which is the boombox. Alright, let's crack this SUCKLORD open and take a closer look. Alright, so the figure has articulation at the legs and the arms, as most standard humanoid SOFUBI do. I don't know if there's much point in me going over these things since there's only 25 of these in the world, and if you're one of the other 24 watching this, you probably already know how it's articulated, and yeah, I don't know. Anyway, before, like I said, this figure was based on the Scum Hunter released within the Space Convoy line, and the body is exactly the same. You've got one arm that is a drill, and it's a very fleshy drill, and one arm that is like a four-pronged claw. Don't kick your boombox, SUCKLORD. He's basically painted in the official Super SUCKLORD colors, as you can see here, with a chrome helmet, shiny gray cape, grayish blue bodysuit with some black trim. You know what? I'm beginning to think that maybe the Mandalorian might have stole some of his look off of the SUCKLORD. I do know that the SUCKLORD does have some fans that are TV and movie producers. It honestly wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, the cape itself is actually done in a vinyl, just like the vintage Star Wars figures, and it's pretty cool. One thing about mine though is that the ink or paint from the blister card back has kind of melted off onto the figure itself. So you can see here where it's kind of come off. I mean, that's not a big deal. I'm gonna keep this displayed on the blister card anyway, but yeah, that's a shame. Oh well. And one really cool feature, other than the swappable heads here and the accessories, is that the helmet actually does come off. The helmet itself is actually kind of a flimsy material that pops right off to reveal the SUCKLORD. Now, this doesn't quite look like the SUCKLORD, but this is the head that the Scum Hunter did come with. So this whole line has this kind of charming, like, you know, made from clay, very childlike innocence vibe to it, which is a very big contrast from the SUCKLORD's persona. But I think in this case it actually works really well just because of that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep him displayed with his helmet on. So the boombox and the lightsaber were actually cast in resin by the Super SUCKLORD himself. They're the only two pieces that are made out of resin of this entire set. And it does help make this one unique and stand out from the Gay Empire version, which doesn't have any of his custom resin pieces. So that's really cool to have these, and they're really well done. The only unfortunate part is that due to his malformed hands, he can't actually hold any of these things. Now the two optional heads, you can actually heat up with a hairdryer. You could pop this one off, and you can swap them out if you wanted to, if you wanted not to have this face here. But I actually do really enjoy this face, so I'm gonna keep that one. But you've got one that's kind of derived from General Grievous and one of the other droids. So these are interesting as well. And all of the figures in this line are pretty interesting, but they've all got this kind of handcrafted look to them, which I think is quite charming. On the inside, you can see that the helmet itself was actually molded in purple vinyl, but was spray painted silver. So I do believe that they did another color release that was the Star Wars Holiday Special or something like that, and he might have had like a purple helmet or something in that release, but yeah. Anyway, there's not a lot more to say about this. I just think it's really cool. And 5 years later, after the great experience I had with SUCKLORD and the gallery and everything, I kind of just wanted something unique to Japan, because this was produced in Japan, of the SUCKLORD. They kind of just have, and remind me of that awesome time, even though this wasn't for the gallery itself. So I have this original promo card that was given out to attendees and, basically distributed around Tokyo at various toy and indie art shops to promote the gallery event. You can see here the date and stuff. This was 2016. And then on the back here is a selection of some of the items that were on display at the event. And the people at Gallery Target were really cool. Definitely check it out if Japan ever opens back up to tourism. Anyway, there was one particular piece that he had on display at the gallery, which you can see right here. And you'll notice that the bottom piece of one of the center figures is missing. That's because when we were displaying this, one of the bottom torsos of this Acroyer lineup actually just broke off and fell. And the SUCKLORD handed it to me and asked me if I wanted it. And I was like, yeah, sure. So here it is. This is the only actual piece from the gallery itself that I did keep, and it was free. And I keep it displayed in this Takara Microman case, which is the case for the original Japanese toys, which Acroyer is from. I take it out of here. Anyway, here's the little Acroyer legs, just molded resin. Nothing too special, but to me, it has a nice little memory attached to it. So I think a big part of collecting is about the memories that are involved. Not always. Sometimes it's just aesthetics, but obviously I wouldn't just keep, random fucking legs if there wasn't a memory attached to it. But yeah, I ended up going outside and filming a lot today, and when I came back, I was quite tired, and a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about or shoot here in the house for this video, I completely fucking forgot about. So I hope I said everything I wanted to say. And showed everything that I was going to show. I guess I can fix everything in post. But yeah, that's this video. I hope you like this. I know this is quite different from my usual format of vintage Japanese toys or some of the recent Bandai stuff, but I'm kind of getting sick of reviewing the recent Bandai stuff. That's really not what my channel's about. So I'm going to start doing more unique things like this and going back into my random retro Japanese junk series and doing some more junk bags and things like that. I know you guys love those things, but yeah, let me know if you like this video, and make sure you watch the documentary SUCKLORD vs. Tokyo that my friend Dawn and I produced 5 years ago. Thanks again to Dove from DKA Toys for providing some of the images that I showed here in this video, and also thanks to SUCKLORD. Keep on sucking. Until next time.